Sunday, just an insane amount of studying. 11 to probably midnight, so a nice 12, 13-hour day. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan and I'm a first-year medical student in the state of New Jersey. So it is Wednesday afternoon and it's our final week of this block. This week we're wrapping up the female reproductive system. We have some lectures on pregnancy, like the normal physiologic changes, as well as a bunch of complications. And then we wrap up the week with breast anatomy and breast cancer. Today we had some clinical skills sessions and we learned the thyroid exam. So it's a pretty crazy week. I can't believe that we're already at the end of this block. It's definitely been the most information-packed block. First 2 weeks were hematology. The next 2 weeks were a lot of endocrinology, and then the final 3 weeks were both male and female reproductive. So some pretty unrelated topics, which is why I think this exam is probably going to be the hardest, just because so many different things jammed into one. So not super excited to take that exam, but we'll see how this next week goes, especially with studying this weekend. It was pretty cool. Yesterday I had my 4th LCP visit. Our LCP is just like our longitudinal clinical experience. I'm matched up with an internal medicine doctor, so we just went into her outpatient clinic and saw some patients yesterday. She was nice and let us go early because she knows we have an exam coming up, but the reason I really like the fact that I was matched up with a primary care is it's so broad, and she's been really good about trying to teach us on what we're learning. So we're like, oh, we're in our, endocrinology, hematology, reproductive block. So we talked a lot about different medications for managing clotting disorders or stuff to prevent like heart attacks and all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting because we saw a patient who had thyroid cancer a really long time ago, had her thyroid taken out. So it was just cool to like connect all the stuff that we learned during our thyroid week and, see it on a real patient. I knew exactly what kind of cancer she had, like the complications that could have gone wrong during the thyroidectomy. Probably the craziest thing was she had a pretty bad cancer in the sense that it invaded 3 of her 4 parathyroid glands. The parathyroid glands are really important for bone metabolism, so they took her last sort of healthy parathyroid gland and actually put it in her wrist. Like, we didn't go over too much about the surgical aspect of it, but I just had no idea that was even a possibility. So she showed me the little scar and she's like, yep, that's where my parathyroid gland is. I think they did it just because it's a little bit easier to manage and make sure it's okay, because they can just ultrasound your wrist instead of leaving it in the neck where she just had a cancer removed. They were taking so much stuff out of her neck already, so they just took her parathyroid and put it right in her wrist. So yeah, it's always nice to see like the things that you're learning in the classroom actually translate into the real world and know what you're talking about. So aside from studying and it being our last week, I have a lot of research stuff due this week, so it's definitely going to be the busiest week of med school so far. I've got to try to ramp up studying for this exam, but also get all this research stuff in. I had 1 abstract accepted a few weeks ago that I have to make a presentation on, so that's due Friday. I also have 2 conferences. One is just our school conference and one is the Eastern Orthopedic Association, I think. I'm submitting a bunch of abstracts to both of those, so I have to finish some data collection and type up all the abstracts. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy week. I'm trying to get ahead on all of our lectures and studyings and stuff because a lot of this is due Friday. So I want to kind of have my Friday completely free just to work on the research stuff, knock that out, and then focus on studying for the exam. Alright, what's up everyone? It is actually Monday morning now. I know it's been a while since I checked in, but I've just been studying like crazy. So since I last checked in, I think it was Wednesday, so we finished up all of our classes. Thursday was breast pathology, like breast cancer, all that kind of stuff. And then Friday we didn't have any lectures, we just had a few small groups, a TBL, so not that bad. But then Friday, I just kind of spent the whole day working on research, turning all that stuff in. And then went over to Mackenzie's Friday night, and we had a few of our classmates over, and we just kind of hung out, had some pizza, did some practice questions. So it was chill, but still studying. And then Saturday, just kind of studied all day. And then Mackenzie and I went to dinner. And then yesterday, Sunday, just an insane amount of studying. I think we probably got to school around like 10 or 11. We went to the gym in the morning and then went to school after. And we were there from 11 to probably midnight. So a nice 12-13 hour day. We haven't studied like that maybe ever in med school. The reason we had to work so much is because we lost 2 days of studying for this exam. Normally our exams are on Fridays, and we kind of have the whole week open. We don't have any lectures. We'll just have like an OSCE. Because of spring break and some religious holidays, they moved it to Wednesday, so we lost like the Wednesday and Thursday to study for this exam. So yeah, we're having to pack a lot more studying in these few days before the exam. Like I said, it's Monday morning. I got back at probably midnight last night, so I really didn't want to film anything. I actually have my OSCE today. It's pretty low stakes. It's easier than our other ones, so I'm not too stressed about it. So I think it'll go fine. But yeah, like I said earlier in the video, this definitely was the busiest week of med school yet. It was just really unfortunate that all of these research deadlines fell on our last week of the course. Really wish it was like a week later so I could just work on it after the exam, but is what it is. I got everything turned in. So the one presentation I made, that's for the Medical Student Orthopedic Society. So that conference, it's just virtual. It's in a few weeks. I think it's this Sunday after we get back from spring break. And it was interesting. It's actually a pre-recorded presentation, so we just like had to make a poster and then like record ourselves doing like a 3-minute talk. Even though it's pre-recorded, they're gonna show it and I have to be there to answer questions, but it's still just virtual, so shouldn't be too bad or too nerve-wracking. I actually kind of liked that it was pre-recorded because I've never done one of those before, and I just recorded it on this mic, and if I messed up, you know, I just edited it out, redid it, so kind of worked out well for me, especially with it being my first one. And then the other research stuff, like I said, it's for 2 other conferences. One is just our school's research conference, so it'll just be a bunch of my classmates and, you know, upperclassmen stuff, and that's gonna be in May. And then the other ortho conference I submitted to is gonna be in person in Charleston in October, so really hope I get something accepted there, because it would be awesome to go to Charleston. I've never been, but I've heard really great things about it, and it'll be in October, so it'll be a little cold in New Jersey then, so it'd be nice to go south for sort of a mini vacation, but we'll see. I have no idea when I'll get an update on if anything was accepted or not. But anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like below and subscribe if you want to see videos like this in the future. Thanks, and I will see you in the next one.